Alright, it's Chris here, just doing a video really, talking about some of my artistic influences, so, you know, which visual artists have inspired me in my artwork, because I thought that would be interesting to, so I've never really discussed that in any kind of depth, so I'm going to. Okay, so start off. Lastly, Kandinsky is an influence. Obviously, he is pretty much credited with creating the first modernist abstract painting. He developed lots of colour theories. I've never actually read about his colour theories and all this stuff, but yeah, I've got like biographies on him and stuff, and I've got like books with lots of images in. And what appeals to me about Kandinsky is this is like an explosion a wondrous explosion of cosmic forms, and a pretty wide variety of styles for what's done. He started off basically with figurative imagery, quite like thick impasto paint and stuff, like bright colours, and then it kind of morphed into a figurative abstract. He had a figurative abstract phase where it was like figurative but it's abstracted to a huge degree, and then he did big compositions where it's completely abstract, non-objective. So I really like Kandinsky. He's a big influence, and I wouldn't say I mean, obviously, as an abstract artist, I do owe a debt to Kandinsky. I think all abstract artists basically do. He started the ball rolling, I guess. Yeah, specifically, I'm influenced by his concept of the spiritual in art. I'm not religious. I think that's pretty obvious from some of my videos, but I do have a kind of quasi spiritual thing going on, and that is reflected in my art. So that's Kandinsky. Pollock. Now, I'm funny with Pollock. I like his art, but I don't like all of his art. There's a lot of paintings of Pollock's which I just find just don't work for me. I mean, like, I like a lot of his early work. Male Female is a specific example that sticks in my mind as a painting that really worked, and I like that kind of shamanistic feeling to his early work. He's got a real primitive feeling to it, which I kind of like, to be honest. His strip paintings, I do like them, but I don't like all of them. I generally like the ones where it's the drips, usually big strokes. I really don't like the ones where they're very small, intricate drips. I mean, I've never seen one in person. I've seen the one at the Tate Modern, which I believe is called Summertime or something like that, and I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, his method was innovative, and he was a very good action painter. Another abstract expressionist, Mark Rothko. I've only seen one of his works in person, and to be honest, he's not particularly one of my favourite painters, but I like what he did with, it was simple, rectangles. Yeah, I like his early stuff as well. His subway paintings in particular were very good. Kind of expressionist paintings, which is that's generally my vein, is expressionism. I really love expressionism, abstract expressionism and traditional figurative expressionism, which brings me neatly onto my next artist that I really like. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce his name correctly. Edvard Munch. He's just very famous for doing this picture where there's a being called the Scream, which is a good picture, but I really like his work. There's a picture he did called The Sun. It's like a massive, huge picture of like a blazing sun. It's an incredible piece. I haven't seen it in person, but this is judging from reproductions, of course. A recent discovery, Roberto Matter. I'm pretty sure I pronounced his name correctly. I've only just found out about this guy. I mean, I was vaguely aware of him before, but I've only just started investigating him recently. He's an amazing artwork. I'm literally like obsessed with this guy at the minute. Like, anytime I'm looking up art now on the internet, it's always Roberto Matter. Like, it was biomorphism, kind of organic forms, and like these crazy industrial, like machinery and organic and otherworldly artworks, and they were huge as well. You've really got to visit this site. It's Matter Art, I think, .org possibly. But it's got, you know, loads and loads of reproductions, JPEGs of all his artwork, and it's mind-blowing stuff, way ahead of its time. I think he's generally considered a surrealist, but he very much influenced the abstract expressionists. Anybody else? There's so many artists, it's very easy to forget. Jean Miro, another surrealist, abstract artist. I like his, you know, kind of his another kind of biomorphic art, but it's also kind of childlike. It almost has a naive quality to it, which I kind of like. So that's Jean Miro. And Picasso. I like Picasso. I say I like most of his work. I'm not really too fond of the traditional cubist stuff where it's really grey and stuff like that. I do like some cubism, but I like it where it's like bright and colours, not too analytical. I think there's a few branches of it. I'm not sure it's like synthetic cubism, analytical cubism. I think the analytical one is the one where it's all, you know, really abstracted to a humongous degree. It's figurative and it's abstracted to like a really massive degree, but like it's used only in dark colours. So I like Picasso. I like his yeah, he was a genius, so what's not to like, really. Who else is there? Paul Klee, I like. I don't like all of his work, I just like some of it. There's a load of artists like I just find online. His work is great. From time to time. And yeah, I guess that will do. So, relatively comprehensive list of artists whose work I admire and whose work informs and influences my own work. So I think I'll just leave it there because it's already 8 minutes anyway. So yeah, goodbye.